Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV this Saturday morning with the wishes for a very happy Krishna Janmashtami. I, Aishwarya, welcome you all to this edition of Breakfast News. Let us start the news bulletin with the headlines. Finance Minister announces measures to accelerate economic growth. Public banks to get 70,000 crore rupees for additional lending. Banks to pass on rate cuts to customers. MSMEs to get pending GST refunds within 30 days. Industry market leaders welcome Finance Minister's steps to boost growth. ASSOCHAM, FICCI, CII say move will help diverse sectors to improve overall economic health. Prime Minister Modi to receive UAE's highest civilian award, Order of Zayed. Prime Minister and Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi to release commemorative stamp of Mahatma Gandhi to mark his 150th birth anniversary. PV Sindhu and B. Sai Praneeth enter the semi-finals of BWF World Championship. Sai Praneeth creates history by becoming second Indian men's player to get a medal at the championship. And Krishna Janmashtami celebrated with religious fervour across the country. President Ramnath Kovind greets people on the occasion. Prime Minister Modi wishes happiness and good health to the people. The biggest story this morning, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Friday outlined the government's plan to boost the economy. Dispelling doubts about the economy or even the government's own growth agenda, she said that India's GDP continues to grow at a fast pace than the global economy. Allaying the industry's concerns, the Finance Minister said that violations of corporate social responsibility norms under the company's law will not be treated as a criminal offence. She also announced that all the pending GST refunds due to MSMEs will be paid within 30 days. And in future, all the GST refunds shall be paid within 60 days.
GST refunds for MSMEs. This was rampantly heard from a lot of MSMEs saying, our refunds are stuck, we are not sure when we will get it, will you give it? Now, I would want all of you all to please hear this out clearly. This is clearly time-bound now. All pending GST refunds due to MSMEs, till now that is, shall be paid within 30 days. Everything that is pending since I don't know how many years, from the time of introduction, let us say, of the GST, from then till today, whoever has got a pending refund problem, it will be sorted out within 30 days from today. The government has worked very clearly to clear it all within 30 days.
And the government has also withdrawn angel tax provision for startups and their investors. The government has also withdrawn enhanced surcharge on foreign portfolio and domestic investors that was announced in Budget 2019-20.
It has been decided to withdraw the enhanced surcharge levied by the Finance No. 2 Act of 2019, the recent budget time, on long and short-term capital gains arising from transfer of equity or shares and units referred in Section 11A and 111A and 112A respectively. In other words, the enhanced surcharge on FPI goes.
Further, the Finance Minister said that banks will pass on the RBI rate cut benefits to the borrowers through the MCLR reduction, which will lead to the lowering of home loans as well as car loans and corporate loan rates. And in other measures, the Finance Minister announced additional liquidity support of 20,000 crore rupees to housing finance companies by the National Housing Bank.
Banks have now decided to pass on any rate cut through the MCLR reduction to benefit all borrowers. It's a decision which the banks have made. I'm very grateful because during the consultation, we emphasized on the total, irrespective of the segments, people saying that the benefits of rate reduction don't reach them at all. Or if it reaches in trickles, or if it reaches, the trickles last over several months and years. So there was this across-the-board grievance that interest rates not being passed down to the customer is affecting, in spite of Reserve Bank having brought it down several times. So now we are very grateful all the banks have agreed and they said that they shall pass on the rate.
The government will also infuse 70,000 crore rupees into PSU banks to enable the release of 5 trillion rupees liquidity in the market. And NBFCs are to be permitted to use the Aadhaar authenticated bank KYC to avoid repeated processes. Further, the Finance Minister also announced that both electric vehicles as well as internal combustion vehicles will continue to be registered. And Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman also announced a slew of measures to boost demand for the auto sector. The government has lifted the ban on the purchase of new vehicles for replacing old vehicles by the government departments. The government will also allow an additional 15% depreciation, taking it to 30% on all vehicles acquired from now till March 2020.
BS4 vehicles which are purchased up to 2020 March will all remain operational for their entire period of registration. So it's not as if from 2020 BS4 vehicles are all off the road, not at all. As long as their registration is on, they will be allowed and they will be as good as any other vehicle. The next point, very important again, the revision of one-time registration fee. There was really a lot of heartburn, understandably, on the registration fee being asked up front and so on. We have deferred it till June 2020. There is no need on that to have any worry. The next is, importantly, because inventories are stocking up and piling up in car manufacturing companies. Today, you get a 15% depreciation on them. An additional 15% depreciation on all vehicles, not only this, not only that, on all vehicles to increase it to 30% acquired during the period from now till March 2020.
And industry and market participants applauded the measures announced by the Finance Minister on Friday. Mahindra Group Chairman Anand Mahindra has hailed the announcements made by the Finance Minister on economic boost. Taking to Twitter, he said that the willingness to relook at the policies is a display of strength and not weaknesses. CII Director General Chandrajit Banerjee said that the excellent package would help the economy to leapfrog to the next level. And SOCHAM President B.K. Goenka said that it is clear that the government is concerned with the current economic situation and added that the industry will respond very enthusiastically to these praiseworthy moves. FICCI President Sandeep Somme also said that the measures will give a major boost to the economy. And Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister Nirmala Sitharaman also addressed an event to celebrate 10 years of Competition Commission of India on Friday. The Finance Minister said that the efforts should be made so that the domestic companies do not face abuse of dominance from global companies. She also said that India is rapidly transforming into a new economy in the globalized world, which calls for strict regulatory compliances by Indian corporates and multinational corporations. The Finance Minister also said that the CCI as a regulator has many challenges in the context of new economy.
Should look at what's developing globally and which already is having an impact on us. Physical borders no longer determine competition within a country. And in that way, I think we are dealing with not fair play as it is. You're dealing with an entity which is outside, probably legally complying with many of the requirements in those jurisdictions where they exist. So every now and then we get these fantastic cases which have fantastic amounts and claims, and which also have such dimension to competition law, which many countries which are the so-called free economies are struggling to understand and disaggregate so that they can handle each aspect for itself.
And on to some other news now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday arrived in Abu Dhabi, where he will discuss bilateral and regional issues with the top leadership here. Prime Minister Modi reached the UAE capital, Abu Dhabi, from Paris on the second leg of his three-nation tour to France, UAE and Bahrain. And during the visit, Prime Minister Modi will discuss bilateral, regional and international matters of mutual interest with the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi. Both the leaders are scheduled to release the commemorative stamp of Mahatma Gandhi on the occasion of his 150th birth anniversary. And Prime Minister Modi will also formally launch a RuPay card to expand the network of cashless transactions abroad. UAE will be the first country in the Middle East to commence the RuPay card facility. Prime Minister Modi will also receive the Order of Zayed, the highest civilian decoration conferred by the UAE government. And in an exclusive interview to Khaleej Times, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that strengthening ties with the UAE remains one of the most important foreign policy priorities of his government. Talking about cooperation in all sectors between the two sides, the Prime Minister said that the rapport shared between leaders has helped the countries break new ground. He said that a tolerant UAE and secular India are natural partners. PM Modi also said that India is ripe for investments. And from Abu Dhabi, Prime Minister Modi will visit Bahrain, where he will hold talks with King Sheikh Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, and will also witness the formal beginning of the redevelopment of the temple of Srinagar, the oldest in the Gulf region, before returning to France on Sunday to attend the G7 summit meetings. PM Modi's visit to Bahrain is significant as it will be the first visit of an Indian Prime Minister to that country. He would also meet and interact with the Indian diaspora there during the visit. And in France earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the Indian community at the UNESCO headquarters in Paris on Friday. And he said that the resounding mandate that the BJP got in the 2019 Lok Sabha polls was for building a new India. He asserted that the government is taking a strict action against corruption, nepotism and terrorism.
आज नए भारत में भ्रष्टाचार, भाई भतीजावाद, परिवारवाद, जनता के पैसे की लूट, आतंकवाद, जिस तरह लगाम कसी जा रही है, वैसा पहले कभी नहीं हुआ.
And Prime Minister Modi also talked about the major decisions taken by his government in its second term, such as banning the practice of triple talaq. The Prime Minister also hailed the Indo-French strategic relations and partnership and said that both countries are closely cooperating in fighting the big dangers facing the world, including climate change.
ये जनादेश सिर्फ एक सरकार चलाने के लिए नहीं है, बल्कि नए भारत के निर्माण के लिए है. एक ऐसा नया भारत जिसकी समृद्ध सभ्यता और संस्कृति उस पर पूरे विश्व को गर्व हो, और जो 21वीं सदी की आधुनिकता को भी लीड करें। ऐसा नया भारत जिसका फोकस ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस पर भी हो और जो ईज ऑफ लिविंग की भी सुनिश्चित करने के लिए हर कदम उठाएं।
And ahead of his address, the Prime Minister inaugurated a memorial in the honor of the victims of the two Air India crashes in France in the 1950s and the 1960s through video conferencing. And earlier in the day, the Prime Minister held talks with his French counterpart Edward Charles Philippe and also discussed issues of bilateral and mutual interest to further boost the comprehensive strategic partnership. And on Thursday, Prime Minister Modi also held one-on-one talks with French President Emmanuel Macron. And in a joint statement that was issued after the talks, the two leaders reiterated their strong condemnation of terrorism in all its forms. French President Emmanuel Macron also said that India and Pakistan should resolve the Kashmir issue bilaterally and no third party should interfere or incite violence in the region. 4 MOUs were also signed between India and France. All right, let's get to some other news now. A delegation of opposition leaders, including Congress's Rahul Gandhi, will visit Srinagar today to meet the people of Jammu and Kashmir after centre abrogated Article 370 from the state and bifurcated into 2 union territories. Now, among some of the parties that will be part of this opposition delegation are the Congress Party, the Communist Party of India, Marxist, CPI, RJD, NCP, Trinamool Congress and the DMK. Meanwhile, the Jammu and Kashmir government issued a statement on Friday night asking political leaders not to visit the valley as it would disturb the gradual restoration of peace and normal life. In some other news, in order to find a solution to the issue of water crisis, experts from all over the world came together for a 3-day World Water Summit and World Renewable Energy Technology Conference organized by Energy and Environment Foundation from 21st of August. Representatives from 10 nations, including Myanmar, Bhutan and Japan, participated in the event. The theme of the conference was clean and safe drinking water to all. And experts at the World Water Summit spread awareness among people for water conservation and its safe use. The main objective of the conference is to create a synergy between economic prosperity and technology for water conservation so that water remains available for industries and people in sufficient quantity.
साफ और सुरक्षित पानी के लिए हमारी सरकार, मोदी सरकार और हमारे जल शक्ति मंत्रालय काफ़ी काम कर रहा है और जन भागीदारी बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है।
हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भी ये अभी बोला था कि हम लोग ये वाटर बॉटल हम ख़त्म करें ताकि ये प्लास्टिक है जो कि हम बहुत हानिकारक है, तो कोशिश हम ये कर रहे हैं कि इसको ख़त्म करें। अपनी नदी हैं और जो गंगा का पानी है वो भी स्वच्छ हो।
President Ramnath Kovind inaugurated the first World Youth Conference on Kindness in New Delhi today. The event was organized by UNESCO's Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Education for Peace and Sustainable Development. And addressing the event, President called Mahatma Gandhi a visionary who gave the world many timeless ideals and values. Calling Mahatma Gandhi's teachings relevant for today's world as well, the President said that they can provide solutions to even contemporary problems like climate change and terrorism. He further said that they will help us evolve as a more peaceful and tolerant society. The theme of the conference was Vasudev Kutumbakam Gandhi for the Contemporary World, celebrating the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. HRD Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank also attended the event. Over 1,000 youth representing over 27 countries from Asia, Africa, Latin America and Europe attended this conference.
The most influential Indian of the 20th century, Gandhiji remains the benchmark against which we assess our public functionaries, political ideas, and government policies, as well as the hopes and aspirations of our country and our people and of our shared planet. He not only led us to freedom, but he also urged us to cherish freedom and preserve the concept of universal peace.
सत्य और अहिंसा के माध्यम से दुनिया में कुछ भी किया जा सकता है और इसलिए आज जब पूरी दुनिया में तमाम प्रकार के ऐसे समस्याएं खड़ी हुई हैं, पर्यावरण की दिशा में प्रदूषण हो रहा है, तब पूरी दुनिया को ये लगता है कि गांधी जी ने जिस सत्य और अहिंसा की बात की है और जिस स्वच्छता की बात की है, वो स्वच्छ मन में तन में ही स्वच्छ विचार आ सकते हैं और जब अच्छे विचार आएंगे तो अच्छा काम हो सकता है.
On to some sports news now. PV Sindhu secured her 5th World Championships medal following a stunning comeback, while B. Sai Praneeth became the first Indian male shuttler in 36 years to grab a podium in the prestigious event in Basel on Friday. PV Sindhu defeated world number 2 Tai Tzu-Ying of Chinese Taipei 12-21, 23-21, 21-19 in the quarterfinals, and B. Sai Praneeth defeated world number 4 Jonathan of Indonesia in the quarterfinals. He scored 24-22, 21-14 win over the Asian Games gold medalist. He became only the second Indian men's player after the legendary Prakash Padukone to win the World Championship medal in 36 years. And PV Sindhu and B. Sai Praneeth will play their semi-final matches in Basel in Switzerland today. And let's get you all the news on Krishna Janmashtami that is being celebrated across the country today. Janmashtami, which marks the birth of Lord Krishna, is being celebrated in different parts of the country today with the religious fervour and gaiety. Several thousands of devotees, not only from the country abroad, but from abroad as well, have already flocked in Mathura to have a glimpse of the incarnation of their deity, Nandlal, at Janmabhoomi at midnight. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath will participate in the Janmashtami celebrations in Mathura today. Lord Krishna, the 8th incarnation of Lord Vishnu, was born on this auspicious day. The Janm in Janmashtami refers to majestic birth of Lord Krishna, who upon growing up killed his cruel uncle Kans and played an instrumental role in the epic battle of Mahabharata. President Ramnath Kovind has greeted people on the occasion, and in his message he said that Yogeshwar Krishna embodied righteousness against evil and devotion to truthfulness. The President said that Janmashtami is a day to commit ourselves to the life and teachings of Lord Krishna, and he called upon people to take a resolve to imbibe these timeless and universal values and follow them for the betterment of their lives and the world. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also greeted people on the occasion of Krishna Janmashtami, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also greeted the people. And in a tweet, PM Modi expressed hope that the blessings of Lord Krishna will always bring happiness and good health in the lives of our people. All right, Navikram Singh is now joining us from Mathura for more. A very good morning, Navikram, and a very happy Janmashtami to you as well. So Mathura and Vrindavan fully geared to celebrate the birth of Lord Krishna. Tell us more.
जन्माष्टमी की शुभकामनाएं ऐश्वर्या। मथुरा और पूरे ब्रज क्षेत्र की बात करें तो ये इस पूरे क्षेत्र के लिए पूरे भारत के साथ ही यहाँ के लिए खास तौर पर ये त्यौहार मनाया जाता है और यहाँ माना जाता है कि अजन्मे की जन्मलीला, यानी यहाँ वैसे भगवान कृष्ण को अजन्मा माना जाता है, लेकिन उस अजन्मे की जन्मलीला को देखने के लिए दुनिया भर से यहाँ पर श्रद्धालु इस समय उमड़ रहे हैं। मानो हर कदम मथुरा में श्री कृष्ण की जन्मभूमि के तरफ बढ़ रहा हो। यहाँ पर 23 और 24 2 दिन जन्माष्टमी मनाई जा रही है। 23 तारीख को कल बांके बिहारी मंदिर वृंदावन समेत कुछ अन्य प्रमुख मंदिरों में जन्माष्टमी का आयोजन किया गया। उसके अलावा आज श्री कृष्ण जन्मभूमि पर आयोजन किया जाएगा। सरकार ने काफी खास इंतजाम किए हैं इस बार। अयोध्या में जिस तरीके से दीपोत्सव हुआ, बरसाना में लठमार होली, कुंभ का आयोजन, इसी तर्ज पर कोशिश की गई है जो जन्मोत्सव है भगवान श्री कृष्ण का, उसे एक बेहतर तरीके से मनाया जाए। तो उसके लिए सरकार ने काफी कड़े इंतजाम सुरक्षा के किए हैं, साथ ही श्रद्धालुओं की सहूलियत के लिए भी काफी इंतजाम किए गए हैं। तो कुल मिलाकर जो ऐश्वर्या, जो इस समय मथुरा की छटा है, पूरे ब्रज की जो छटा है, वो अपने आप में बेहद निराली है। जी ऐश्वर्या।
So we can see a lot of preparations are there, and of course people celebrating Janmashtami with a lot of gaiety and religious fervor, and all the temples including the Banke Bihari temple, the Prem Mandir, ISKCON temple and Shri Krishna Janmabhoomi temple, of course tastefully decorated in Mathura, which is the birthplace of Lord Krishna. Thank you so much Navikram for all those updates there from Mathura. And not just from Mathura, but people across India are celebrating Krishna Janmashtami with a lot of love, enthusiasm and unique tradition. With all the wishes for a very happy Krishna Janmashtami, I take your leave. Thanks so much for watching. Take a look at these wonderful visuals of people celebrating Krishna Janmashtami.